Good morning, Jeannie. We're so happy to have Jeannie Lee here playing for us today and next Sunday as well, as some of our regular accompanists are gallivanting around the world. But that was beautiful. Thank you for being with us. And a little bit, Ollie is going to be leading us in some songs. Looking forward to that. And Melly speaking to us today. It's a Melly Sunday, as Fawn likes to call them. It's a Melly Sunday. Melly and I were having a discussion a few weeks ago after service about words and translations and meanings and nuance, and I said, that's a sermon. So I'm looking forward to, as we think about words, how we use them, how they're misused, and so forth, and looking forward to that very much. It's a nice day, isn't it? For July the 13th, as my wife reminded me, we're about halfway through the summer. I was like, oh no, how is that possible? For those of us on the school schedule, we're like, all the things I was going to get done this summer, what happened? But I hope you're having a good summer and a good day. We are glad, someone is, all right. We are glad to have you here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. My name is Gene Van Zant, and I've been a member here, is it possible, almost 25 years, because I came in about 2000, so that's about right. And I'm glad to talk to you about this place. Our minister, Reverend Renee Jansky, is on, I don't know, are we calling it sabbatical? She's not here, is all I can say, but she'll be back before long. And she's always happy to talk about Unitarian Universalism, as are the rest of us. So if you're new here, welcome, and feel free to ask questions. We are kind of different from other groups, and so you may have questions about us, and we're happy to answer those. We believe in freedom when it comes to religious thought and religious practice. None of us, well, a few of us feel like we've arrived at the truth, but most of us feel like it's an ongoing search. It's a process, and we're open to learning. We believe that deeds matter more than creeds. How you act, how you treat the people around you. We believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion are not out of fashion, that these are values we hold dear. And so we're glad to have you and for you to join with us in our ongoing quest. We do believe that love is at the center, should be at the center of all that we do. So if you are here for the first time and would like to get on our mailing list, then we ask you to fill out one of these white cards. You can drop it in the offering basket later. We will have a time in our service for joys and concerns. If there's something you want shared, either with the leaders or publicly, then you can fill out this yellow card, and there's a place there that says, would you like this shared with the fellowship? So if you don't want it read aloud, check no, and we'll make sure Renee gets it, but we won't speak it aloud. Those joining us online, welcome. We see you. We're glad to have you. And you can also share with us later your joys and concerns in the comments. Those cannot be kept private, unfortunately. Or if you want to just come up later and drop a stone to represent your joy, sorrow, your hope, your milestone, then you can do that as well. If you need help with hearing assistance, David, our AV tech, is here. Kids, always welcome in the service. We do have a nursery downstairs, an attended nursery for those who prefer that. Turn off your cell phones. I think that's everything. All right. Caroline and David will lead us now in our chalice lighting.
Please join us in saying these words as we light the chalice. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its prayer. to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together.
Good morning. Some wonderful words that were said about me. I'm not usually sure how to take those, so I just kind of say, okay, cool, thanks, and move on. I would like first to acknowledge anyone who has ever served in the capacity of a translator or interpreter. These are people who stand in our communities to bridge the gaps between language and culture. If you've ever been an ASL interpreter, a language interpreter, anyone who works in the legal system, these are people whose jobs cannot be underestimated. It's critical for the forwarding of understanding between our communities. As is typical, my opening words today come from our great hymnal. Number 437, let us worship. Worship is a word that some people have lots of issue with, but really all it means is to make space and find something precious. Let us worship with our eyes and ears and fingertips. Let us love the world through heart and mind and body. We feed our eyes upon the mystery and revelation in the faces of our siblings. We seek to know the wistfulness of the very young and the very old, the wistfulness of people in all times of life. We seek to understand the shyness behind arrogance, the fear behind pride, the tenderness behind clumsy strength, and the anguish behind cruelty. All life flows into a great common life if we will only open our eyes to our companions. Let us worship. Not in bowing down, not with closed eyes or stopped ears, but let us worship with the opening of all the windows of our beings, with the full outstretching of our spirits. Life comes with singing and laughter, with tears and confiding, with a rising wave too great to be held in the mind and heart and body to those who have fallen in love with life. Let us worship and let us learn to love. All right. So we have a responsive reading today. I've had several people mention to me that they miss doing responsive readings. So this is back and forth. If you've never done a responsive reading before, you will find it in this book or here on the screen. It's number 585. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to read part of it and you're going to read part of it, and so we will read it together. Generally, I'm going to read the part that's in regular text, and you will read the part that's in italics. Okay? Everybody got your book if you want it? It's not on the screen, so you'll need a book. I will pause to give you all time to find a book. There should be one under the seats in front of you. Nice. Just for me. I have a contentious relationship with the screens. I understand the necessity and I understand the ease that it gives to some of us. There's part of me that doesn't like them very much, though. Yeah, okay. Yay. All right, does everybody have a book now? No, okay. Yay. Yes, okay. Also, please take a moment to recognize that all the people who have written these things in this book come from many different eras. So you may have to do some mental translating out of binary language, if that's your thing. All right, number 585, counsels. I'll start with the regular text. We must sit down and reason together.
Perhaps we should sit in the dark
the dark, we could propose and describe and suggest.
In the dark, we could not see who speaks, and only the words would say what they say.
No one would speak more than twice. No one would speak less than once.
Thus saying what we feel and what we want, what we fear for ourselves and each other into the dark.
Perhaps we could begin to listen.
The women must learn to dare to speak. The men must learn to bother to listen.
The women must learn to say, I think this is so.
The men must learn to stop dancing solos on the ceiling.
After each speaks, she or he will say a ritual phrase.
It is not I who speaks, but the wind. Wind blows through me. Long after me is the wind.
Thanks to Marge Piercy for those words.
Good morning. You're going to want to keep those gray hymnals out. Our opening hymn today is Do You Hear? It's number 112 in your great hymnal. We'll do all 3 verses. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our hymn today. Seated.
Good morning. My name's Abby Horsager, and I'm delighted to get to read the story for all ages for you this morning. So it is Words and Your Heart. This is by Katie Jan Neal. This book is about your heart, the little bit inside of you that makes you you. Will you listen very carefully? Shh. Because it's really important. And it might help you be a happier you. And the people around you be a happier them. You see, the words that go into your ears can actually affect your heart, the little bit inside of you that makes you you. Your words can do amazing things. They can describe things if they are big or if they are little. They can explain stuff so you understand that it goes whiz, whoosh, boom. Or spin, tinkle, bing. Words can make you happy and make you want to sing. La. But sometimes words can make us cry. We all know what sort of words those are. You see, sometimes words can be like a deadly arrow that can pierce someone's heart, the little bit inside of them that makes them them. Some words can really hurt. Words have power. Dun, dun, dun. Your words can actually change the way someone's heart feels, the little bit inside of them that makes them them. If someone feels sad, your words can cheer them up. If someone feels weak, your words can help them feel stronger. If someone wants to give up, your words can help them keep going. Your words can make them giggle, make them grin, make them laugh out loud and roll around. Do you get it? Your words are amazing and powerful. How about we use our words to look after each other's hearts, the little bit inside of us that makes us us? Let's try it together and see the difference it makes. Today, somebody's world can be a better place because of you. Thank you. Doesn't that make your heart feel good?
Now is the time in our service where we share our joys and concerns and milestones with each other. As a community of people that care about each other, we share our various joys and concerns. We invite you to share your ups and downs as you desire. You can come to the front and drop a stone for any joy or concern, shared or confidential, expressed or held in your heart. The part of you that makes you you. As you drop your stone, may you experience the spreading of love and support like the ripples in the water. If you filled out a card, you can bring it to me at this time and make sure to indicate whether it's supposed to be confidential or shared. And if you need to stay where you are, you can raise your card and someone will bring it for you. If you're attending virtually, now's the time when you would write your joys or concerns into the comment section. Jean, will you help me this morning? Come forward. All right. David, do we have any joys or concerns from Facebook today? Okay. Facebook friends, we see you and we acknowledge you. Thanks for being with us. Okay. The fireflies are particularly epic this year. Yes. Hooray for epic fireflies. Lightning bugs. It's kind of lightning bugs. Jean, will you please drop some stones for all of the joys that we may experience in the coming week? Please also drop some stones for the things that may be difficult in the coming week. And just because of me, please drop some stones for all of us being here together today. Please join me in a minute of silence. It's going to be a full minute. I know it's a really long time. If you pray, you can pray. If you don't, please share space for all the things that have been shared today, either aloud or in people's hearts. Thank you very much.
Before we do the offering, I was handed a note that there's a light tan Hyundai Accent parked in an undesignated area that will make it difficult for other cars to leave. So, no judgment. Everyone, close your eyes, everyone. No. Parking is hard to find, and we periodically announce that there is parking up this hill to the right, university lots that the university lets us use on Sundays. But yeah, and it's one of the issues we're trying to improve and work on is finding more parking. So I guess it's a good problem to have. So this place, not just the physical place, but the place in our hearts occupied by UUFF is supported by the free will offerings of members and friends. Money can be a very touchy subject. I know I was taught as a child not to talk about money in public or anyone's salary or anything. Also sex. And politics apparently is okay. But money, money is a touchy subject. And we each have our own situations. But we invite you to share in a way that is generous, in a way that you can. Without compromising the real needs that you have in your life. There are a lot of ways to give, even more than are listed here. If you want more ways, just ask and we'll give you even more ways. A lot of churches, have stopped passing the offering basket as old-fashioned, but we're hanging on to it. And there's something about putting something physically in the basket that can be meaningful. So if you have something to put in the basket, including a white card if you're visiting. We invite you to do that as Kate and John come forward and distribute the baskets.
beautiful. It's awesome. So, I was kind of inspired to this because I read this summer for the first time what may be considered a classic work of slightly more contemporary literature, Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis. Okay? If you have never read this, you may have the same assumption that I had, was that Metamorphosis is a really cool title for a work, and it probably talks about some interchanges and lots of stuff like that. I'm not going to give away the end of the book or anything really spoilery, because this happens in literally the first sentence. The metamorphosis is absolutely literal and physical. The main character wakes up to find himself changed into a giant bug. This happens in the first sentence, okay? And I was so stunned by this that I thought I was being punked by a website and had to go look up in Wikipedia and some other things. I'm like, is this actually what this book is about? It's also only about this thick. So if you've ever wanted to read it, you can go look it up online and read it in about 30 minutes, or maybe a little longer if you're a slower reader than me. But I was like, wow, this is interesting. Very, very interesting. But Franz Kafka was not a native English speaker, and the book was not originally written in English. It was written in German, which meant that for me to read it, it had to have been translated. Being a homeschooler, my immediate thought was, oh my gosh, my kid needs to read this and we need to have a discussion. So I went online looking for discussion topics about this novelette. And I found some really, really awesome worksheets that I actually wanted to work through myself because I'm weird like that. But this is from one of the things that I read. Written originally in German and first published in 1915, remember that, The Metamorphosis is Franz Kafka's best known and most frequently translated work. The earliest English translation by A.L. Lloyd was published in the 1930s. A slightly later translation by Willa and Edwin Muir was for many years the best-known English translation and is still widely available. Today, anyone interested in reading this story will find in local bookstores and libraries at least 6 different English translations readily available. Most readers don't realize how important their choice of translation can be. So the first problem comes actually with this title itself. It's typically translated as The Metamorphosis. Now I want you to stop and think for a minute what metamorphosis makes you envision. What's one of the first things that pops into your head? Butterflies. Okay, bugs. Something else? Chrysalis. Okay. All right. These are beautiful things, right? Gorgeous, lovely. We await the coming out of this thing, of this new creature. Metamorphosis in general, for most English speakers, is a positive thing, right? The word in German is more literally translated as just transformation. Now, does that have the same connotations as the word metamorphosis? So, as a translator, the words that you choose to use, they matter. Okay? This says, the appearance of the word perhaps too quickly alerts the reader to the strangeness of the story to follow. It's pretty strange. Most contemporary translations still use metamorphosis mainly because that's the title that was most often used in early translations. It's wrong. It's not really correct. It's not even true to the feeling of the story. But English translations still tend to use it because it was the first one. Translations can be confusing and often an utter failure. Have you ever opened a package that needed to be put together? Or perhaps a piece of electronics that had to be programmed somehow, and upon reading the instructions, actually were more confused than when you opened the thing. Using direct word-to-word translation can be really, really bizarre. There's a fun game when Google Translate first came out. It was super exciting, and you still play it. People still play it all the time. When I was in college 20 years ago, we use song lyrics. So you take a song lyric, you put it in English, you translate it to something, you translate that to something else, translate something else, and then you end up back in English, and then you present it to someone and see if they can guess what song it is. My favorite was Delta Dawn, which ended about something about triangulating the atmosphere. So that one was really cool. But this emphasizes the importance of translators being able to look at two different modes of speaking and bridge the gap between them. Context is critical. Slightly off-color language, it's the difference between a butt dial and a booty call. These words are the same, but they are not the same, okay? So, how you translate words can uplift or ruin the mood of what someone was attempting to say. Our personal experiences also have an effect on how we translate something. Our cultural and personal translations affect how we make a translation from someone else's life and experiences into ours. One of my favorite YouTubers, TikTokers, whatever, is a woman. Her name is Desdelez. She's from Puerto Rico, and her mother does not speak English as a first language, so her vocabulary is somewhat limited. They play a fun game, too, where her mom basically makes up words to try and come up with something that she's trying to describe. She's like, why don't you just tell me in Spanish? She goes, that's no fun. I want to try to use the English, but I don't have the English words. Usually because there's not a direct translation from Spanish. Apple is apple. But when her mom comes to her and says, oh, it was a wonderful time. They had the horse tornado. You knew exactly what I was saying. The horse tornado? What? Oh, yes, it was wonderful. This sounds horrifying. No, it was wonderful. The children loved it. Excuse me? It was a carousel. Horse tornado. But a limited vocabulary in a particular language made the translation of that term very difficult. If we have limited experiences, then that's going to make translating our understanding of other people more difficult as well. It's not just individual words. Other things impact translation and understanding. Jane Austen, in her book Pride and Prejudice, at one point, the character Elizabeth Bennet goes running to a different house because she hears that her sister is ill. It takes her a while to get there. Her family has already completed breakfast by the time she leaves. When she arrives at the other house, they are just now beginning to have breakfast. Now, for modern readers, this isn't consequential. People eat it all kinds of the day. But in the time that this novel was written, that was a critical piece of information. It heavily emphasized the social class and the divide between those two families. So understanding the satire in the novel hinges on understanding what was happening in that time. Napoleon Bonaparte said, to understand a man, you have to know what was happening in the world when he was 20. Just think about what was happening in the world when you were 20. If you're not 20 yet, try to imagine what might happen. When I was 20, 9/11 had not happened yet. When some people were 20, the Korean War had not happened yet. When other people were 20, black people could not vote. When some women were 20, they were not allowed to get a divorce. If I'm reading an old diary, who loves to read things written by people? Annotations in books or old diaries? If I'm reading a diary from 1925 and it reads that the woman got a divorce and moved to a different state. Whoa, exactly. Now, if a book is written now and it says, and this woman got a divorce and moved to a different state. And, okay. So what happened? We may be curious about what happened, but we are not going to assume that this person is some kind of paragon of feminism or the bravest individual in the world for doing this thing that is so, so difficult, almost impossible. Time matters. When matters. Where matters. In Kafka's text, the word that's used for the bug is very, very particular. The word, forgive my terrible German, Ungeziefer, okay? It doesn't really mean bug. It doesn't even mean insect or anything like that. The word that most closely translates is actually closer to vermin. Okay? Now here's another piece of information about that particular word. In 1915, in the section of Germany in which Franz Kafka, a Jewish man, was living, this was a word frequently used to refer to Jews. That changes everything about this story. I first read it as a very weird little thing. It's like, what a strange little funky sci-fi novel this is. You know, some dude turns into a bug, lives in his room while his parents and his sibling and the dude that he works for are trying to get him to come out, but he can't even open the door because he's got these claw hands and he doesn't know what to do with them, and he's going to crawl around on the floor and on the ceiling, and, you know, other things happen. But when I realized that this was a term used to refer to Jewish people in a particular time in Germany, then I start to look at everything that happened to our main character in a very different light. How we live, where we live, what words are used, these are all things that affect how we communicate with each other. Our human language is based on words, but it's also based on our lived experiences. Every person comes with their own dialect of the language of their culture. I am white and Southern. I am AFAB and was feminine socialized. All of these things affect how I experienced the world. I was raised in a Christian household that was not as strict as some people assume that it might have been for the kind of Christianity that my friends also belong to as well. So people make assumptions about how I grew up. They assume that because I was raised Pentecostal, some of the people in my church didn't even have televisions. They assume that my reading must have been heavily strictured. This is not the case. My mom's inner hippie never died. My reading was never censored in any way whatsoever. Zero. None. I had access to every piece of written anything that I wanted. It came into our houses in banana boxes from yard sales that my mom never even looked at, just walked up and said, I gave $5 for the whole box. Well, they're 25 cents. I'm not counting them. I'll give you $55 for the whole box. So we brought a whole box of books, sight unseen, into our home. And I got to read any of them that I wanted. That's not what people assume about me. People assume that anyone from the South is stupid. Have y'all experienced that? Okay. Everyone from the South is dumb. I went to a competition once in Cincinnati. I was 13 years old. I had someone tell me, they're going to look at your feet. I said, that's stupid. What are you talking about? You tell them from your Mississippi, they're going to look at your feet. What? I got in the elevator the first time in Cincinnati, Ohio. The other people at the convention said, oh, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Mississippi. And every single one of them looked at my feet. As if they assumed that I would not be wearing shoes. The effect that that had on me in the competition was stark. I suddenly felt like a representative for the entire South. Everything I said was going to be judged. If I said anything even slightly silly, I was going to be confirming the idiocy of an entire several states worth of people. I didn't win. I got second place. But every experience that you have is going to alter your personal language. That's going to change not only how you communicate with others, but how you understand what they're communicating with you. As we've already seen from many examples here, translation is hard even when you're just using words. What happens when we try to translate human life? When we try to translate what's happening with someone else into something that we can understand? Cultural specifics can sometimes be easy to look at, and we think that we know what they mean. We think we understand those words. But context is everything. There's a joke that says, how many translators does it take to change a light bulb? Depends on the context. The same words in different contexts have different meanings. The same actions in a different place or time will have a different meaning or have a different effect. The same words and actions in the same time to a different person will have a different effect. Every single time that you hear or see something, a story told by someone else or an experience that you're having yourself, it is individual. We are translators every second of every day. And sometimes it's exhausting. This is one of the reasons why translators, professional translators, should be paid very well, why they need breaks, why they have limited time frames. Well, you can just go and you can just translate for the whole day. Excuse me, I don't think so. Mentally challenging, exhausting. Time and place, words and values, context. Every single person you encounter is speaking their own language. And they're trying to understand yours too. What we need to realize is that it takes time to make space. And sometimes the context is more important than the dictionary definition. If you get bogged down trying to nitpick, well, that word doesn't actually mean this. Okay, that's fine. What's a weave mean? If I'm talking in my crafting group, I'm probably talking about a textile art. If I'm talking to a group of my black friends, they're probably talking about their hair. If we don't understand the differences between words and the differences between our experiences, we're going to put up a wall between our understanding. And that just makes it harder and harder to show compassion, to be open, to be able and willing to share someone else's story. When we read other people's stories, they are sharing something very, very precious. We are writing our own stories all the time, but we need translators. And we have to be willing to make that space. We have to be willing to be open about the process, to admit ignorance, to accept correction. Ooh, that's so hard. No, that's actually not what you thought it meant. Well, it says over here in this book, I understand, but that's not me, and that's not my lived experience. Listen to me. Sometimes that is very difficult to do, to listen to the person in front of you without piling on them all of the baggage of the translators that have told you what they're supposed to be meaning. What do they mean? What are they saying to you? And what are you giving back? Being translators of human experience is our job as people dedicated to love and compassion. And being a translator takes time, experience, learning, and it takes a willingness to look at things differently than you've been told or than you may have thought was correct. Language is the roadmap to a culture. It tells you where people come from and where they're going. That's Rita Mae Brown. I will encourage you to try and listen a little deeper, not just at words, but at people's experiences. Listen to what they're telling you, not what you think they may be saying. If we make this space, then that's going to be how we can learn from each other and with each other. It's how we create a global language that we can all speak together. Thank you.
That's my mom. Aren't they great? Our closing hymn is number 34 in your gray hymnal. We're going to do all 3 verses. Please rise in body or spirit.
Words of Well, let's see how these words translate to you. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
All right. Melly has some closing words for us, and then our sending music.
I'll keep it brief. By nature, translation is an interpretation. There is no such thing as an objective translation because there is a person doing the translating. By nature means it's neither good nor bad, merely that it is a fact of the order of existence. That's Andre Markowitz. Umberto Eco adds simply, translation is the art of failure. Let us strive in our relationships and our dealings with others to be aware of our own languages and to acknowledge the gaps. To be open to create space for the work of translation amongst and with each other. And remember that complete understanding is not necessary in order to show compassion. Have a good week.